What if a campsite could erase you, not just kill you, but make it so you were never even born? That's what happened to one of us. And I'm terrified I might be next. But before we dive into this real nightmare, if you love true horror stories from the darkest corners of the woods, hit that subscribe button and help us reach our goal of 1,000 brave souls in the nightmare and fear community. Because after this story, you'll never look at a secluded campsite the same way again. This one's called The Trail That Didn't Exist Yesterday. It was supposed to be a digital detox. That's what my friend Malcolm called it. 3 days in the woods, no phones, no tech, no contact. Just us, two other friends, Sierra and Jonah, and the kind of silence you can only get miles away from cell towers. We picked a remote location in the Pacific Northwest, an old trailhead Malcolm found on some backpacking forum. But when we got there, the trail wasn't listed on any map. No GPS pins. No signage. Just a narrow dirt path cutting into the thick forest, like the trees had reluctantly moved aside for it. We should have taken that as the first warning. But we were stupid. And excited. The air felt heavier than normal as we walked deeper. Not cold. Just thick. Like breathing soup. Even the birdsong faded the farther in we went. And then it stopped completely. After 4 miles, we found a small clearing with a perfect circle of flat ground. It was too perfect, no rocks, no tree roots, nothing. Like someone, or something, had swept it clean. Jonah laughed and called it premium campsite real estate. We should have left. But we didn't. That night, Sierra woke us up screaming. She said she saw someone standing just beyond the trees. Not walking. Not moving. Just standing. Jonah and Malcolm checked with their flashlights. Nothing. But the way Sierra described it. She said the figure looked wrong, like it had too many joints in its arms. Like it bent the wrong way. Like it was watching her, but didn't have eyes. We all laughed it off. The next morning, she was gone. Not wandered off, gone. Vanished. Her tent was zipped from the inside. Her boots were still at the entrance. And her backpack, untouched. But here's the part that still chills me. Her name was no longer in any of our phones. Even in our group chat, the messages just said, "You, where are you guys? You, this hike is insane. You, I think I'm being watched." Her name was never there. It was like she had never existed. Jonah and Malcolm, they didn't even remember her anymore. When I brought her up, Jonah stared at me and said, "Who's Sierra?" I thought they were messing with me. Until that night, when I found Sierra's journal in my own backpack. I hadn't packed it. But it was there, her handwriting, her fears, her drawings of that figure with backward limbs. She wrote, "It watches at night, but it lives in the day. The trail feeds it. It eats memory first." I didn't sleep at all. The next morning, Jonah was gone. Same thing. Tent zipped. No signs of struggle. And this time, even Malcolm didn't remember him. "You and I came here together, man." He looked genuinely confused. "Why would you think someone else came with us?" That's when I realized this wasn't just about people going missing. It was erasing them. Not killing them. Erasing every trace they ever existed. And now it was starting on me. I saw the figure that night. It stood at the edge of the firelight, taller than any human, with arms too long and knees that bent sideways. It didn't move. It didn't blink. It just watched. And somehow, I knew. If I left the light, even for a second, it would take me. Not just my body. Me. My name. My life. Malcolm disappeared the next morning. And I knew I was next. So I ran. No gear. No map. Just sprinting back the way I thought we came. But the trail didn't make sense anymore. It split in ways I didn't remember. It looped. I started seeing things that weren't there. Campfires in the trees. Laughter echoing behind me, and Sierra's voice, except I couldn't remember who Sierra even was anymore. Only one thing kept me grounded. The journal. Still in my pocket. The only thing it hadn't taken. I clung to it and ran until I passed out in a ditch by the highway. A trucker found me. Now I'm home. At least, I think I am. But every day, I remember less. My mom had photos of Sierra and Jonah on the fridge. Now they're gone. The group photo we took at the start of the trip? It's just me, smiling alone in the woods. I don't know how much longer I have. But if you're hearing this, if you ever come across a trail that isn't on the map, don't follow it. Because some places don't just take you, they erase you. And you'll scream all you want, but no one will remember your voice. If this story kept you on edge, let us know in the comments. What would you do if your friends started disappearing and no one remembered them? And if you love real terrifying stories like this, subscribe and help us reach 1,000 brave souls. Because this forest may not be done with us yet. What if the campsite you pitched your tent on didn't exist the next morning? 1 second, you're gathered around a fire with your friends, laughing, telling stories. The next, you're standing alone. No tents, no ashes, no footprints. Just you, surrounded by a forest that says, you were never here. We were 6 when we arrived. 6 friends, 1 weekend, and a secluded camping spot Malcolm swore he found by accident. He said it wasn't on Google Maps. Not even on all trails. Just a little fork in a logging road with a rotting wooden sign that said, Echo Pines, stay quiet. We laughed at the name. Thought it was some joke, like Camp Crystal Lake or Murder Hollow. We were all too grown for ghost stories, too tired from the long drive to care. We parked, hiked 2 miles into the woods, and found the site, a perfect clearing, soft mossy ground, tall pine canopy above. The kind of place that feels untouched. Peaceful. We pitched 3 tents, started a fire, and by nightfall, we were roasting marshmallows and teasing each other about who'd get eaten first by Bigfoot. But the first weird thing? There were no bugs. No mosquitoes. No buzzing. No cicadas. Not even crickets. You don't realize how wrong that is until the silence sets in. That night, I woke up gasping for air. The inside of the tent felt off. Not hot. Not cold. Just tight. Like the air itself was pushing down on me. And I heard it. Low. Humming. Vibrating. Not from outside. From beneath the ground. I shook my friend Cass awake, but she didn't move. Eyes open. Staring past me. Mouth twitching like she was dreaming with her eyes. And then her voice said, "Don't leave the circle." Except her lips never moved. I ran out of the tent. The fire was gone. The other tents were gone. The clearing was gone. I was standing in a different part of the forest entirely. Same trees, same moonlight, but no sign we'd ever camped there. No footprints. No gear. No friends. I screamed until my throat was raw. I ran in circles, marking trees with my knife. But every time I blinked, the marks disappeared. Even my compass spun uselessly, twitching like it didn't know where north was. I found the rotten Echo Pine sign again. Except now, it said, Echo Pines, too loud. Hours passed, maybe days. I don't know anymore. Eventually, I found a fire. Someone else's camp. 6 people. Same number as us. But they weren't us. Different faces. Different clothes. Different gear. And when I stepped into the firelight, they all looked up. In perfect unison. Not surprised. Like they'd been waiting. One of them said, "You weren't supposed to leave." Another whispered, "Now we can't." Then they all turned and walked into the woods. One by one. Without looking back. I tried to follow. I shouted. I begged. But the forest changed. The trees rearranged themselves. I'd look away for a second and they'd move. The sky turned wrong. No stars. Just black. And when I looked down, there were no footprints behind me. Like I wasn't real anymore. I don't know how I made it out. I woke up on the side of a highway 20 miles from where we parked. No phone. No wallet. Just a pine cone in my hand. The police said there were no signs of other campers. No trace of tents. No reports of missing persons. They acted like I'd imagined it all. But I still have the pine cone. And sometimes, when I shake it, I hear that same low humming inside it. Like it's still calling to me. If you ever find a campsite that wasn't there before, don't stay the night. Because some places aren't on maps for a reason. They don't want to be found. They want you to disappear. Evergreen Tree, if this story chilled you to the bone, hit that subscribe button and help us reach 1,000 subscribers. We have more terrifying tales coming, and if I disappear again, I want someone to remember I existed. We went camping to escape the noise. But the forest was too quiet. So quiet, we heard something beneath it. Breathing. If this sentence gave you chills, you're in the right place. Welcome to Nightmare and Fear, where real-style horror stories come alive after dark. If you're one of the brave, hit that subscribe button and help us reach 1,000 souls who dare to face the forest with us. Because after this one, you'll never want to sleep outside again. Tonight's nightmare is called The Ground Was Breathing. My name is Ryan. And what happened to us in the fall of 2022? I haven't told anyone until now. There were 5 of us. Me, my sister Eliza, our cousin Mark, and 2 friends, Joel and Tessa. We hiked deep into the Appalachians, an off-grid trail Eliza had found in an old hiking forum. No reviews. No maps. Just a screenshot of a red ribbon tied to a tree, and a caption that said, "Follow until the quiet begins." We thought it was poetic. It wasn't. The deeper we went, the more unnatural everything became. The trail stopped showing up on GPS about 40 minutes in. Birdsong vanished. Then bugs. Then even the wind. We reached a meadow by late afternoon, perfect for tents, flat, dry, surrounded by thick trees. But the grass was odd. It was short, but looked freshly pressed down, like something big had just lain there. No one said it, but we all felt it. The silence wasn't peaceful. It was hiding something. That night around the fire, Joel brought it up. "Have you noticed the grounds look warm?" He was right. The soil beneath our sleeping bags was radiating heat. Like a sunken furnace, low and steady. But only inside the campsite. I stepped 5 feet out toward the tree line barefoot and the ground turned freezing. Tessa joked it was geothermal. Mark said it was cursed earth. We laughed. We went to bed. At 3:12 a.m., we all woke up at the same time. Eliza started screaming. The ground beneath her was rising and falling, slowly. Like it was breathing. It wasn't an illusion. Our gear was shifting slightly up and down. And then, the humming started. Deep. Low. Organic. It came from beneath us. Mark grabbed a flashlight and ran toward the trees. He didn't make it 5 steps. The moment he crossed the edge of the campsite, he dropped. Like something pulled the ground out from under him. We rushed to where he fell and found nothing. No pit. No hole. No sound. He was just gone. We called out for hours. No echo. No animal. No night wind. Just that hum, vibrating under our feet, stronger now. Faster. We made a decision. Pack up. Leave immediately. But the trees had changed. Where we came from, there was no path anymore. It wasn't just overgrown, it was different trees. No ribbon. No clearing. No direction. Like the forest was closing in. Joel screamed next. He pointed to the sky. The stars were moving. Not slowly. Not like the earth turns. They were drifting. Spiraling. Like we were inside some kind of dome. And whatever was above us was watching through holes in a shell. Tessa threw up. I froze. Eliza whispered, "I think we're not on Earth anymore." I wanted to laugh. But I couldn't. Because I felt it too. The breathing had stopped. And now, it was listening. We didn't sleep. By dawn, the trees had moved again. In the distance, a red ribbon on a branch. We ran. The forest screamed. I mean that literally, it screamed. Not animal. Not wind. A roar so deep, our bones shook. Tessa collapsed and begged to be left behind. I didn't listen. We pulled her. Ran toward the red. We emerged onto a highway 11 hours later. The rangers told us no such trail existed. They found no campsite. No signs of heat beneath the ground. And no trace of Mark. They chalked it up to wilderness psychosis. Said we imagined it. But I still wake up every night at 3:12 a.m. to a low, slow hum under my floorboards. And last week, I noticed something in my backyard. The ground is warm again. If your campsite ever feels too quiet, if the air is too still, press your hand against the soil. If it's warm, run. And if you made it to the end of this nightmare, join us by hitting subscribe and help us reach our goal of 1,000 brave listeners. Because stories like this, they're not fiction. They're warnings.